is the violin so hard? Now, this is definitely subjective, and there's a lot of reasons that the violin is challenging, but I'm going to be talking about some reasons why I think the violin is challenging in this video. If we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Megan. I'm a violinist and teacher currently based in New Jersey. I've been playing the violin for over 20 years. It is my full-time profession and I love sharing tips and tricks and my story with you guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at Suzuki Violin Teacher. So, the violin is known as one of the most challenging instruments in the world. And honestly, if I had known that when I first started playing it, I probably would have picked viola. I'm just kidding, jokes aside. But here are some reasons why I think the violin is so challenging. The first reason is because of the positioning. Holding the violin, especially holding the bow, is not natural, right? It's a very unnatural position, and it's very hard to learn at first. It's also one-sided, right? You're holding your violin on your left side, you're kind of leaning a little bit over to the left side when you bow, so that also just adds to the challenge. And although the position is very unnatural and probably feels very weird and uncomfortable at first, we have to try to stay as relaxed as possible while we're playing in order to get the best sound, in order to be able to play fast enough, and just a whole lot of things. And staying relaxed while playing the violin is definitely not easy. Reason number two would be because there are no frets. So unlike a guitar, the violin does not have frets. And I think that the string family is the only family of instruments that do not have like specific markers for where you need to place your fingers. You know, obviously the guitar has frets. Piano, you just play the right key, right? For wind instruments, they have specific buttons that they need to press down or cover while they're playing. But the violin, there's really no guide for where you need to put your fingers, which makes it extremely challenging. Kind of along the same lines, the margin of error is so minuscule when it comes to the violin. If you move your finger even like 1/500th of a millimeter, that's a measurement, right? You're going to be out of tune, which is so frustrating and definitely makes violin extremely challenging. Another reason I think the violin is challenging is because it is hard to get a beautiful tone. I personally think that tone takes years and years to develop, and that can be extremely frustrating to a beginner, you know, because they feel like they're not sounding good, and then if they feel like they don't sound good, why would they want to keep playing? You know, so if that's you right now, I want to assure you that scratches are normal, bow bounces are normal, and it's all a part of the process, and you will be able to develop that beautiful tone. I obviously have never played a wind instrument before, but I do think wind instruments are easier to get just like a good solid baseline tone out of when you're first beginning. Another thing that makes the violin challenging is that your hands have to do totally separate things at once. Say your left hand needs to be moving really fast, you need to be playing a lot of notes, but you need to slur them. That means your right hand has to be moving slowly. So you have to be doing two totally different things. Have you ever heard of that saying where you rub your belly and like pat your head? It's that exact same thing. You just have to do two different things, which is really, really hard to wrap your brain around at first. Another thing, the list goes on, that makes the violin challenging is that there's so much to remember at one time. I'm sure that goes for other instruments as well, but it is so easy to get overwhelmed in everything that you want to fix. By the way, that's why I suggest only focusing on one thing in practice at a time so you don't get overwhelmed. And finally, learning the violin is a journey. You are not going to sound how you want right away. It's probably going to take you much longer to sound good than you think, and it requires a lot of patience. Also, it's hard to measure your progress, right? Because you are with yourself every day. You're hearing yourself every day, and you're not really seeing the little improvements that you make day by day. So it can be easy to feel like you're stuck, you're not making progress, when in reality, you are, okay? So let me know if I missed anything. What do you find most challenging about the violin? Subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you for watching.